If your ambition is to become a renowned drug lord, the plan is not complicated. At least that's what the former student Zachariah L.K., alias Pee-wee, thought when he embarked on importing cocaine into Europe with the goal of quickly earning 30 million euros before seeking refuge in Dubai, safely. The story of Zachariah begins in Mortsel, a small Flemish town in the province of Antwerp, Belgium. This is where he takes his first steps, but at this stage the young man decides to follow a conventional path by starting his higher education at AP Hogeschool in Antwerp. It is during this period that he meets his partner Hanan, who specializes in insurance and finance. This option seems to align well with Zachariah's future professional activities in the drug trade. During subsequent interrogation by police, Hanan described Zachariah as a good boy, in whom she trusted blindly, unable to imagine that he would cause her trouble. But let's go back to Zachariah's studies. He is aware that it is not with a diploma that he will get rich quickly. As is often the case for those in the port city of Antwerp, the coke trade is the fastest way to build a financial empire, provided one can stay under the police radar for a certain period. Zachariah believes he is smarter than the pawns who dirty their hands unnecessarily. He decides to open his own temp agency for those extracting the white powder from the port. Indeed, there are many steps in the logistics chain of this lucrative trade, starting with South American cartels exporting their products and ending with customers in all European metropolises consuming their dose. Between these two steps, several intermediaries play a crucial role, such as a cocaine extractor whose job is to retrieve the product arriving in a container at the port of Antwerp before customs detects and seizes it. Zachariah thus creates his own gang, targeting MedRepair in Antwerp, a company specializing in the repair of refrigerated containers. He infiltrates so deeply into the heart of this company that he manages to be informed 5 days in advance of the imminent dismissal of a docker who sometimes helps him with withdrawals. This situation is all the more remarkable because Zachariah, the leader, has never set foot in the port of Antwerp himself, organizing his activities remotely from his apartment. The police investigation begins with a group of local cocaine dealers to establish a link with a spiderweb-like network consisting of 27 suspects. At the top of the pyramid are Zachariah, his right-hand man Adil, and his couriers Ali, Filal, and Mohammed. It is through his circle that Zachariah conveys clear instructions to coordinate drug withdrawals, forming teams on site during the years 2018 and 2019. The goal on the ground is to extract batches of cocaine from South American containers and transfer them to European containers, less likely to undergo customs checks, or even to transport them directly to a storage location where the main players can retrieve them. It is worth noting that this company, MedRepair, is frequently at the center of drug-related affairs, including articles in local newspapers mentioning in 2023 that the drug mafia operates there, demanding a medical certificate from a docker declared sick on the day of an extraction operation for which he was paid. This underscores how much these criminal organizations increasingly resemble genuine businesses. During the investigation into Pee-wee's gang, it was revealed that the group deliberately sent its members to MedRepair when job offers were open, doing everything possible to secure employment there. What is even more surprising is that Pee-wee's group broke all the rules that traffickers generally follow to avoid the police and justice, as highlighted in an article from Gazette van Antwerpen. The first rule is never to talk on the phone or send normal text messages that can be easily intercepted by investigators. Indeed, a secret conversation among the couriers mentions their desire to make money.
Inshallah, bro.
That's it. This money can't decrease but must only increase.
In 2 years, we must hit that million, my brother.
At 1 million, we stop. 1 million and it's done.
The second, equally important rule prohibits attracting the attention of the police, particularly by not conspicuously using money. The suspects deliberately violated this rule by leading a luxurious lifestyle, including dream trips abroad and extravagant spending on luxury clothing. The prosecutor emphasized during the trial,
This is not the consumption pattern of an average employee. Some suspects lived in social housing or depended on an allowance. The best of both worlds, they wanted to accumulate as much cash as possible to be able to retire.
At Pee-wee's girlfriend Hanan's place, the wardrobe was almost too small to accommodate all the Louis Vuitton handbags, Cartier jewelry, and even Rolex watches. During a phone conversation, she even boasted to a friend,
I don't know which Louis Vuitton bag to take for our trip to Dubai. I feel almost like Kim Kardashian.
Violence also attracts attention, as was the case in February 2019, after a withdrawal carried out by Pee-wee's gang went wrong. One night, masked and armed individuals stormed into his apartment while he was in a meeting with his group, placing a weapon to his head and demanding 200,000 euros from Zakaria for the failed mission. According to phone taps, the gang then conducted an investigation to discover who was behind these threats, even considering hiring a private detective. However, time is against Zakaria, and a few months later, the police closed the trap. Investigators can almost in real time track how Pee-wee conducts extractions in the port. A large-scale operation is launched, dealing a fatal blow to the gang in the midst of extracting 1.3 tons of cocaine. One of Pee-wee's employees, Mateus K., handles this withdrawal, during which he slides this massive cargo from one container to another in just 20 minutes, as shown in a video he made during the transport of bags, intended as evidence of the change for the bosses. Here we are talking about 46 sports bags transported, a colossal job for which 200,000 euros was paid, while Chef Zakaria normally received 1 million euros per withdrawal.
An extremely criminal organization operating in the highest echelons of the drug trade.
Pee-wee's team managed to smuggle 12 shipments of white powder out of the port during the investigation, generating a profit of 28 million euros in a short period. This estimate is considered minimal because the group had been able to operate at full capacity for years, although tangible evidence is lacking to confirm it. This brings us to the third rule not to break, which is never to talk about one's activities to one's wife or girlfriend, as they are often the first people the police turn to for information, as was the case with Hanan. After a period of reflection and police interrogation, she admitted,
Maybe I exaggerated when I said he was the wisest boy in the world.
It is revealed that Zakaria had clearly told her that he would make a few more withdrawals. Then it would be time to retire and enjoy life. Hanan finally admitted that she was aware from the beginning of Zakaria's activities, but did not approve of his actions. In June 2022, the trial comes to an end, with many suspects being convicted. Boss Zakaria, although sentenced to 10 years in prison, does not immediately serve his sentence as he has been on the run for some time. According to an article published in November 2023 on the most wanted criminals in Belgium, Zakaria is mentioned, stating that he resides in Dubai in a luxurious apartment with a view of the Burj Khalifa. It would be plausible to consider Pee-wee's team as a unit led by significant figures in the underworld. Initially, investigators thought that Morad, alias Mr. Noodles, held the top position in the organization. However, his experience would have prompted him to take a more discreet approach, limiting his phone communications. Morad, from a well-known Moroccan family in Antwerp engaged in trade and distribution in several countries, briefly explored an acting career before venturing into the major drug case named Makril around Abdelilah's gang, alias Black. Thus, Morad could play the role of intermediary between the leaders and the corrupt port employees to facilitate drug importation. His Asian restaurant, Mr. Noodles, was even targeted by gunfire in 2018, an event that caught the attention of the police, especially regarding the Pee-wee gang case, given the emerging proximity between Morad and Zakaria at that time. Later, Morad was also threatened on Facebook, accused of stealing a 120 kilograms drug shipment. A photo of his ID card appeared on the social network, offering a reward of €100,000 to find him, dead or alive. It is interesting to point out here that during a conversation among Pee-wee's team members, intercepted after a failed withdrawal, it was mentioned that Black will not laugh about this, potentially referring to Abdelila. However, neither the latter nor Morad were convicted in this case due to a lack of evidence. Nevertheless, they are on the list of the most wanted criminals in Belgium and, moreover, seem to have been in conflict for some time.